So in this introduction video, we're going to have a look at how we can set up a smart notebook file in advance of a lesson so we can use it in a lesson. So we're going to have a look at how we use a computer to set it up in advance, and we're just going to have a quick look at the interface for the software and some of its most basic controls. I'm running this software here on a Mac rather than a PC, so some things might look slightly different to how they appear on a PC, but the software does work exactly the same on both operating systems. So this white area in the middle of the screen, as you might guess, is where we're going to put the content of our notebook page. A notebook page is just like a PowerPoint slide. We can see in this sidebar the different pages. We've only got one at the moment, and it's in Pages because we've clicked on the Pages tab in this side menu. We can also change to a Gallery tab, a Linked Files tab, a Properties tab, and an Add-ons tab that contains the Activity Builder. We'll come back to some of those in some of our other screencasts. And then at the bottom of the screen we've got some of our basic controls. So we're just going to go through some of the most basic controls in this. This is our text control, so if I click this, we get the option to change the font, make it bold or underlined, and change the size or the colour. And if I then click in the content area, I can add some text. If I then go to the arrow, this puts me back into a selection mode, so I can click and drag and move that around. I can then add a shape, so let's add a square or a heart, and we can change the fill colour, that's the colour inside a shape, as well as the line colour, the edge around it. And I can now draw a quick heart, and I just then change back to the selection tool so that I can click on those and move those around rather than drawing more shapes. We can also draw some arrows just to point towards things. We'd also be able to do that with the pen, and in a separate video I'll show you how we might use the pens in a lesson. This is just for setting up a file before a lesson. So if we go back to the selection tool, if I click on a shape, you'll see again I get this nice rectangle around it that shows me I've got it selected. That gives me the controls to rotate a shape, to enlarge a shape, and a drop down menu that gives me some more complicated options that we'll come back to. I can also change to a colour fill, so I can change to, let's paint this in orange, and the controls for the pens and board rubber that we'll come back to in a separate video. Again, we'll come back to some of these tools. These are all slightly more complicated in a separate video. So other basic controls, undo and redo, that just as you expect, undo and redo the last actions. A button to add a page, we can see that appear in this sidebar, which we can then flick through those pages with these arrows or by clicking them in the side panel. And a button to delete a page. That's a quick look at how this software looks, what you should expect to see when you open it up. If you change now to the second video, we're going to have a look at some more detail about some of the things that we can do with the software.